Yo, yo.
What's up, everybody?
What up, everybody?
What's going on, everybody?
How's everybody doing tonight?
Back at it
Hopefully, you
again.
guys can hear us and see us.
So, what you
Hopefully,
guys been up to lately?
Not much.
making baits, a little bit of fishing, a lot of
Tackle.
work.
That's it.
Yeah, a
Tackle.
lot of work.
Are you, Jermaine? You going fishing this weekend at all?
I don't know. Brandon was saying you're going out this weekend. I don't know.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
a little warm, not like crazy warm, but
Yeah.
at least a little sun. As long as it's sunny out, really, I think that's really the
Yeah.
that's really time.
Yep.
But once that sun goes away, man, it gets brutal.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it is.
So,
It sucks.
it depends.
Yeah,
I
as soon
think
as
I'm
it starts
working this
setting,
weekend,
it
so it
gets
might
cold.
be rough for me, but
Yeah,
How's the
I'm planning on
weather
going
been
out this
there for you,
weekend,
Jermaine?
hopefully.
yeah, Brendan's weather is.
I'm hoping on taking. Yeah, it's a little warmer here, but it's very wet right now. Just had a bunch of rain, so that should wash a
Yeah.
bunch of mud into there. So hopefully, if I get out this Saturday, it should be a little bit warmer because of all the runoff and everything.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping the bass should be shallow and I'd be able to catch them on some wake baits and crank downs.
It'll be fun.
That's what it's been doing here. That's all we've been getting is like rain, man. Like rain after rain.
Yeah.
No snow. I saw Jermaine got some snow.
Yeah.
today.
We get some snow today.
Yeah.
Go on. It's 50 degrees and raining right now. So
It's weird, man.
weird year.
Yep.
So if Jermaine's apartment complex starts floating, don't be surprised.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think also next month they said it's supposed to be, I was looking at the weather stuff and it says supposed to be, we're kind of like in the lucky space where like Hella Bass and a couple other people, they're not getting so lucky. But
Okay.
where we're at, pretty much, we're like in this pretty much like crescent part of the that weather. And we seem like we're going to have like more average higher temps than normal usually, and supposedly it's supposed to be more like in the 50s and some 60s, so that should be weird.
Look, man, if that means we get to bass fish in like February
March or like the beginning of March.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
Yeah,
I can fish for my birthday. I'm good. My birthday's on the 6th, March 6th. So
that'd be sweet.
Nice.
That'd be sick. It never happens.
Awesome.
Never happens.
Yeah. The weather's weird, man. Sometimes it'll get like, because I think 2020 was like the 2020 or 2021. No, I think it was 2020, and it was where we had a very short winter, and it was like warm in like pretty much March down here. Like I have like pictures from it, and it was like that was when I ended up catching my PB. So I think it was 2021. Yeah, it was 2021, and
okay.
So that year, pretty much we didn't get really anything that was that much. Like it was no snow, it just rained. And then I was pretty much fishing. I caught that PB. It was like right at the beginning of March.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had photos of fishing previous to that, and it was like in February.
Yeah.
And I really don't fish like that, like down here that early. So, and there was like, it looked like the plants in the background were like already growing, like green. It was odd.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Because I remember even last year for me, like,
I mean, let me see.
It was what? I think it was mid-March.
Yeah, it was actually pretty late last year. We didn't even get grass here till like June. It was crazy.
I drove up to like where I usually go fishing, and there's like there's like 3 or 4 lakes, and they were all frozen over, and I was like, what? We just had a week of like 50s. This is crazy. And I literally had to go home. I couldn't fish for like another week, and it was like so depressing because it was like 50 degrees out, but it was just like, how you get that, like, not like crazy ice, but you get that like 3-4 inches of ice where it takes a week.
Yeah, it's a little bit. It like at least takes some rain or something to melt out.
And you're just like looking at it like it's 50 degrees out. Come on. And but
It is weird, man, how like it'll be warm for a little while and that you'll still have that thin ice and it won't go away.
We got ice for I think a week, and then it was gone. Ice for like literally like an inch or two of ice for like a week, and then we got warm rain and it went away. And I don't think we've had ice since.
Damn.
But I think we should do a quick addressing of.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah, we got the gang in here.
Heather.
Yeah, I was gonna say we should do a quick rundown. Heather, how you doing?
Little Rich. Bastard Big Malone.
My guy. What's up, bro? Michael Bradley, the OG.
What up, Michael?
Carol, how you doing?
Carol.
Tom. Kara was in here heckling some people with pizza crust.
Yeah, right.
Right before she's replacing Frank. Adam, yes, we are 9:30. We were just a little bit late.
A few minutes late.
TN Bassmaster. Hook Life.
Yes, sir.
What up? I always keep forgetting that's
I know
was White Whale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He got me a few times. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, I thought it was somebody else trying to like pretending to be him. What up, JP?
What's up,
Jason? What's up, Jason? You beat me to my Sixth Sense unboxing.
I know he did, didn't he?
I got it.
Darius, what's up, man? You've been killing it on Kentucky.
What up, Darius?
What's up, Darius?
Brian,
yes, it is,
Jersey Fishing is dead right now.
Yes, it is.
I think that's out. We got Bruce in here.
That's about it.
Bruce. What up,
I think that's everybody. All right.
John, what up?
Got everybody. Sweet.
I don't think we missed anybody, right?
No, I don't think so. I only saw John Smith, the one I just didn't see.
I didn't see him in here.
I
see him. Emperor has not arrived. Where is he?
He's at I just saw his name.
Who are we looking for?
John Smith. Emperor George.
I don't think so.
Oh yeah, there he is. He was at 9:31.
I was like, wait a minute, am I going crazy?
All right. There's my boy Frank. I thought if I was gonna say, do we say what's up to Frank? What's up, Frank? How you doing, man? It's my guy.
What up, Frank?
He's here.
Here he is. John. John Long. Just got here.
John Long.
Darius said back to 60s today. Jeez. I wish, man.
Man, that's nice. I wish it was that warm. It's like 40s or 50s today. It wasn't very good. He's technically here trying to plug a tire in this snowstorm.
Man, to some of the topic at hand, I guess. Big baits.
Yes.
We got two big bait guys here.
I also have some baits to show too.
Nice.
Yeah, let's get a look at those.
I had just this. Really, it's just this one, but I also have a few other baits that I tinkered with and have been messing with since I've been going crazy not fishing. But this is the Epic Shad that I had got. It's from Epic
those are cool. Here, I'll put you on full screen.
He had a little. He had pretty much does this thing with Marty Burns. He gets this bait made specifically for him, and he has pretty much used this for like tidal rivers and stuff like that. But it's a pretty nice crank. It's a little bigger size balsa crank, and has that circuit board lip. And but it's a really nice bait. I had good success with the one I had, previous before losing it. I actually caught like a couple fish within the first like 10 minutes of using it. And then ended up just snagging on a log, or the line got snagged, and then I got screwed. But it's a pretty nice.
Those are high float though.
Oh yeah.
Were you able to see it?
Yeah, that was the bad part. It was like torturing. Like you could see it, but then you couldn't get it. And I tried a lot to get it, and ended up almost losing my elude bait and everything. Trying to like pull it out. I thought I could break the line, because it was only like 16 pound. I think I had on there co-poly, and I had like 50-pound braid on my swim bait with like a 24-pound fluoro on it. I was like, oh, this should be able to break that. And no, it was not, man. And it bent the damn snap on my elude bait before it broke.
That's nuts.
Yeah, it was nuts. And then the damn elude bait started floating off. And I was like, screw that damn crank. I'm getting my wrap back.
Yeah.
And I was able to
was
get
this
that
the gas
back.
or the triple double?
It was the this one right here. The zombie rat.
Or the gerbil or the...
Nah, it was the zombie one.
Okay, gotcha.
And dude, I was like I said, I was like, what the hell just happened? And I was lost for a second. I thought I broke the line and just snapped. And I was like, what the hell just happened? And then I look at the snap and it's bent. And I was like, holy hell. And I was like, dude, I don't understand how that didn't break. And then I went to get my elude bait, the crankbait. I thought I, was still seeing it. I went to go back and, see if I can grab it or something. And it was gone. And I was like, dude, how the hell does the thing just vanish? And especially, like you said, it's floating. So I had no clue how it just vanished. I was pissed.
Man, a fish probably came back and ate it. That literally happened.
That would have been nuts.
I broke off an River Sea Rover. It's one of their walking baits. And I was walking it, and then the line snapped when I got like next to a tree because I was trying to pop it out of the tree. And the thing falls on the water, and I grabbed the line because it was like right next to the shore. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to try walking it with my hands. And a fish grabs it, and I try to set the hook. but I've got no power. I didn't lose the bait, though.
I can see that, definitely. Because I've had that where my rod broke. I remember my Akuma rod. I had a cheap Akuma rod, and I had my spinning, and I'm literally set the hook, and it just snaps. And I'm like, what the hell just happened? It blew up, dude. And I was like, what just happened? And I'm like reeling with half the stick, trying to catch up, and it just was not working. And it came off. I was just dying. All I could do was just laugh. I was like, what the hell just happened? And I really didn't even set the hook hard, man, at all. It was weird.
Some of those ones, they just have the spine misplaced the wrong way,
that's
or
what
they're just brittle.
Yep, that's what I had then. And it was a 2-piece rod, which
there
cheap 2-piece rod is no good.
Yeah.
So Hook Life here says, is that balsa? It looks like a full streak on it. I believe so.
Yeah, it's foiled. He had 2 models that he had for sale. These were the foiled ones, and then he had the regular plain, just painted ones. I was supposed to get another one. I do actually have one coming, but I gotta wait a little bit. But it's a white night one. It's a white foiled one with the red gill plate design. Ooh. But the ticker on this, man, is also what makes it a really cool bait. Unique.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I like that rattle.
It has a really good sound to it. So as it's going through that water, it's really making a good sound to it, and it thumps really hard, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's hard. Balsa, but it has a rattle in it. Does he do? Does Marty Burns cut it down the center?
He cuts it on the.
Put it down.
He drills it on the side. So he's drilling a little slot, and then he puts a little tiny chamber there, and then
that's smart.
You can actually, if you put your hand on in a certain spot, you can really feel where it's at.
That's pretty cool. That's really smart.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. You just end up covering it over with paint anyway, so you're not going to see it.
Yeah, or you fill it over with some filler or whatever.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what he does. Is probably put some sort of filler or
epoxy with microspheres.
Yeah,
makes sense.
Or like a crazy glue with baking soda type deal. That would work.
Yeah. He says. Michael Bradley says, "Is that a 3-inch?" Looks a little bigger than a 3-inch.
Let me see. I got a little ruler right here. It's a little over 3. It's about 3 1/4.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what makes that bait worth $60 to you?
That's the thing that's a lot. It is pretty expensive, and the one thing is that I'll say is that if you can get it, I would say at least try one, but it really is just the fact that really it's not a bait that is like produced like that. So really, Marty's not even producing it like that. It's only for Eric, and you're not going to be able to buy that anywhere. So it's a limited supply of that, and the fact that it is a pretty big bait on its own. It's not a tiny crank. Mainly a lot of smaller Marty's cranks are like $30, $25 from TK. If you're buying them in the 3-pack, the way he does it, you break it down. But this one here is specifically, I think it's because of those reasons. And the other one that wasn't foiled was about $50, but after shipping, it's gonna be $55 or so. But so you're really paying for the custom pretty much whole thing of it being custom, and it's only availability of being available to.
Just broke it.
Yeah, that's all I needed, right? Just cracked it right in half. But and then also, that circuit board lip is a really good. The only issue with that is obviously you can't really crank it into the rocks as much as
it'll grind it down.
But it's more of a cover bait, so you're mainly using this around wood and stuff like that. So that's a thing of the thing I kind of screwed up on. I was using it in like rocky areas, and there was wood around there, but it wasn't the type of wood you would deflect off of and things like that.
Yeah.
Weird logs and stumps that
nasty wood.
Yeah, that just gets everything messed up or snagged.
Man. So John Smith has a question for you as well. Yeah. I'm not sure if he means the Elude or the Epic Shad.
You tying directly to the bait, or are you using the snap?
Nah, I use a snap.
Okay. And what snap are you using?
Yeah, I usually use the VMC ones, or there's this other ones I have. They're not regular. They're not the decoy egg snaps. They're another one. They're like a different version. But I usually use the VMC crankbait snaps. They're pretty good.
Okay.
So I don't have much issues with those. But for anything else, bigger wise, I like the EX snaps from Decoy.
Okay.
Those I tend to get like the smaller ones, but I don't have many of those now, so I don't use. They're kind of hard to get, so I don't want to waste them.
Yeah. So JP got a few Epic Shads he wants to try out in the spring. It would be cool if they made it in a crawl pattern. That would be really good.
Yeah, he picked up a couple actually himself. He picked up 2. I'm pretty sure.
Nice. Scott says happy early birthday. I'm not sure if he means to Maine or Matt.
Oh no, they're chatting. I think they're talking.
Okay. I think somebody's birthday's coming.
Yeah, I think Carol's birthday's coming.
Okay.
Yeah, a couple people, and then TN Bassmasters is next Saturday. So happy birthday, y'all!
Happy birthday to you guys. Nice. Oh, Tyler's in here. What's up, Tyler?
Yeah, what's up, Tyler? I'm Tyler.
What's up, man? So you got the Epic Shads in, or one Epic Shad in at the moment. So what are your thoughts on, like, is there anywhere specific you're wanting to throw that? Like I know you want to.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna try.
Does it work in current very well? Because I know that's a problem with some baits, and you do fish current.
I wouldn't use it like that because it's not a bait that I would burn like that, because it does have a lot of pull to it. It's not a current that's really gonna be just like very easy to just wind. So it does have some pull to it, but I would tend to use that more. I'm gonna try to use these now more, because where I was using it before, where I caught the fish I caught, was, like I said, it had like mixed bottom. It was like kind of muddy, kind of had like big chunk rock, but then also had like random logs placed, and stumps. So it really wasn't a deflecting actually, and I was catching fish off of it. So I haven't used it where it was deflecting off of stuff and catching it. So at that 10 minutes I had it for, that's really, I was just using it pretty much just searching through the water for that moment and letting that just ticker call in some fish.
Yeah,
because
catching more off the action of the bait.
Yeah, and it was pretty much it's a pretty big crank. So, and the water I was fishing was pretty visible, so they'll be able to see that from a good distance. And then also with that, like I said, unique sounding clacker or ticker, you're gonna end up getting some fish to be curious about it. But I was using this near current, so it's not probably terrible for it, but I wasn't directly using it in current like I do with other baits, like the Evoke or the Z1, stuff like that. So,
and then again, that's handmade, and those baits are factory made, sonic welded, and like they're molded to be exactly precise. Especially the Evo and like those JDM baits, like those are really precise. So those are going to run true most of the time.
That's true.
Like straight out of the box as well.
Yeah,
so I'm sure those would run better.
That is a good point too. You know, those baits are like pretty much designed like a lot more refined. You know, people don't really. I don't think people really realize that is that, you know, a lot of testing goes into it. Sometimes they go through like 40, 50 blanks of prototypes before they get to the damn bait. And it's just like for a crankbait, but that's what you have to do for like a mass produced bait, because, you know, it has to be quality, you know, controlled to a point where each bait will at least run like the other, you know? And that's not easy to do with a wood bait specifically to get it to run specific. That's how, you know, Rapala has, you know, become so successful in the industry, because they figured that out and have, you know, made good baits and that run true and don't have to worry about, you know, tuning and all that out of the package or whatever. And you have a good bait. So, but when it comes to like a small handmade garage bait, you know, that's kind of hard to get when you're making, you know, 40, 50 baits to have them run specifically all like, you know, one another. So
I think Cliff Pace at Black Label does an amazing job with that. His CNC
machine
too. That's probably helps him out a lot.
Yeah.
And they're cheap too.
It's a very
really
interesting thing.
Yeah.
You guys are like big on the tinkering with the lures, and I'm more of a stretched out of the pack. Like, let's just go.
Yeah.
Like, I'll change the hooks if they bend or break, but like for the most part. And then like on my like certain lures, like everyone, you know, you gotta change your lures on your cotton cordell spots. Like, other than that, I'm not. I think that's the only bait I've ever been like, okay, I gotta go get hooks for this.
When usually when I have like my most of my JDM baits, I really don't replace the hooks. I usually keep the hooks on, and then if say after using it a couple times and I see that the hook is dulled, then I'll change it up. But I try to like get at least use those, or I'll just have them kind of like save them on the side. I'll take them off and then put them on the side. So say if I'm, you know, one bait I have is I don't have the, you know, size hook for it, I'll just have a replacement at least for that time being, and I can just replace it. But I really don't change my hooks like that unless it's something like this that obviously it didn't come with the hooks for some reason this time. But
you have to obviously.
Yeah. So or a swim bait or something like that. But usually with cranks, I'm not that picky. Too bad.
I think if the bait is moving fast in its reaction and you're not stopping it, I think there's no need to change out the hooks unless they come stock with an EWG, which I like the extra certainty of actually making sure I hook the fish most of the time. So I like to switch them out to a round bend. If I'm pretty much on every bait, I have a round bend. I rarely ever go to an EWG treble unless I'm on like a lipless crankbait that I'm fishing like super deep.
I really do the same thing. I'm mainly like a round bend guy. I have a few EWGs, you know, once, but that's like for specific, you know, reasons. I'll usually put that on like baits that maybe I'm using sometimes. Like if this bait didn't have, you know, a big bill or something like that. And I actually have an example right here, and it's actually the bait that we were talking about earlier. That Timber Tigers, the ones that Eric did with the nail polish, but
those things.
But like I said, the reason why, you know, I put that on here is because there is a short radius of these hooks here. So it's not really a big bait, but it kind of keeps those hooks from like overlapping, but also allowing me to put a, you know, pretty big size hook on there, or at least a decent size hook. But like I said, with this front hook, I have that EWG there because this bait is obviously designed a certain way with these fins on here. And your bait, really, you don't want those hook points to go outside those fins. So that EWG kind of keeps that hook points in the body, but at the same time also, you know, allowing to, you know, give you at least a good amount of hook there. So when the fish hits, you know, you're not missing them. So, and then you also get that, you know, kind of benefit of the EWG. So like, you know, when you hook them, you really got them. They're not going to come off. So I think that's like also the little benefit of that. as well. But
what kind of hooks are Fusion, the Berkeley Fusion hooks? Are
I
those
think
like
those
a
are
round end?
EWG.
Those are EWG?
I think
Am I?
so.
No, I don't think I have one
I
right
think I
here.
do like EWG hooks then, because on the stunner,
Yeah.
I mean, I really I like those hooks a lot.
Yeah, they're
Just the,
good hooks, definitely. They work.
I think they
but it's
come
just like
stock really
preference.
small though. Like they're way too small.
Yeah,
Everything like
they're
that
pretty
Berkeley has
small.
like is undersized. I think on their
Okay.
cranks anyway.
And I actually like to sometimes with my cranks, I actually like to go kind of undersized than oversized for some reason. Like some guys like to do over and some, do under, but I do that usually it's just for more like weed deflection or, cover deflection. So I'm not snagging stuff as much. And mainly I usually only do it on like the front hook. If the front hook looks a little bit too big for me, or I think that it's just going to probably grab too much, leaves or something, I'll just downsize it so it's hiding behind that lip, So
yeah, those timber tigers are amazing around cover. I love those little things. That
yeah,
is
they're
the
pretty
one
good.
small bait that I will fish all year long. I love that thing
I
so
actually use
much.
these more like a little wake bait because they really don't
Okay,
go
I've never
deep,
tried
these
that.
ones.
Yeah,
And so they're almost like
they come get that.
in a way, if you look at it, they're like a a -1
Yep.
or a mid one, whatever. But the bigger
Got
one
the
right
man's
here,
right there.
yeah, that's the man's.
Yeah, so that's like one of the first baits I started on, the man's baby 1-. That's like my first search bait my dad taught. That's funny. I was talking to him about it the other day, and he taught me how to like fan cast, go all the way around the clock, and then come back. And if you don't catch anything, move down.
There was actually something I was looking on about that, which you just talked about, like casting like that. And
Yep.
there was a guy I saw on
Almost like
Universe,
a
and
clock.
he was a bait maker. Yeah, and he was talking about fan casting and about that. He was like, "Oh, it's for suckers," and I was like, "What the hell is he talking about?" And so he ended up putting up a theory that he had was that when he was fishing off the bank, and instead of actually, and I do that too. I fan cast a lot, so I was like, let me see what the hell he's talking about. But what he was saying is that when you're on the bank, instead of actually just going and casting like straight and then going like that in one area and fan casting in that spot, he said kind of go, and after you're casting, you cast one direction, and then he says he move over and then cast again in that same, like over on the next spot, but in that straight line. But so he's going like this and then like that and then like this, and he keeps moving over like 3 or 4 feet and then casting in that same direction. So he's covering, the water, but then not missing the inner, spots. But then I was also saying that, if you went back in like the other way, the opposite direction, you're pretty much creating like a grid pattern. So there's like no water you're missing at all. Yeah,
and you're
so
getting the
pretty much,
angles as well. You're
yeah,
getting different angles.
Yeah, so you're not like pretty much, creating little spots of areas that you're not putting your bait through. So you're covering as much water as possible. So it was pretty smart. And I was like, damn, I'm gonna try that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to try that too. I've never thought of that much. I never thought of the lake being like a big grid pattern and just being like, all right, how am I going to cover the most amount of water in the most amount of time to find the biggest fish? So that's pretty cool.
It was pretty cool.
Yes, a baby 1- is always good. Okay. Oh, we've got Michael in here. What's up, Mike? Michael?
What's up?
I will make sure to send you a message when I'm going live. Yeah, that's a really interesting way of going about it. That's I like trying to find the ways to cover the water like efficiently, and that's like a really good way of doing it.
Yeah, because I just do that, the normal way of I just get to the edge of the bank and cast just like a fan, a whole 180, and then that's it. And then I'll move over maybe a little bit and then maybe do the same thing, but still you're still missing those points in between those other casts. And I was like, damn, I never thought of that. So,
man,
very interesting.
That is very interesting.
And I'm sure you could work that pretty quick with like a crankbait or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're doing like a crankbait or doing something like a burning bait, like a ballum, those kind of baits, you could really work fast through there. Now, if you're working like a jig or something on the bottom or like HUD, kind of pointless to do that unless you're standing in like an area where you know there's fish. Like I like to,
and honestly, you probably
my
wouldn't
place
have to worry about it too much with like the HUD and stuff like that or anything, because he was talking about swim baits too, but he wasn't specifically saying like soft baits. So, but I think with the soft baits of that size or caliber, you're going to be calling in fish, so you might not have to worry about having to cover as much ground like that. You can kind of, you know, get away with just casting every 3 or 4 feet from each other, and those fish between that distance would have saw that bait coming by anyway.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
I don't think that would have
definitely.
mattered.
And it's also if you're fishing like a bigger bait, like you're talking about, that'll also draw fish in. You know, it's they're going to see it or hear it, or you know.
And then you also got to think about conditioning. Say if those fish don't bite, you're then now showing that fish that bait 20 million times casting in all these directions. And now they're seeing it from all different angles. And now if you cast it in all those angles, you're done.
That's it.
Yeah. Man, I think there's definitely different ways of going about it on a boat too. Because if you're ever fishing like a large lake, you really have to narrow it down. It's like you have to be like, all right, the fish are going to be in this part of the lake this time of year. Most of the time, that's where they are.
You know what?
And then you're like, all right, I'm going to cover this water as fast as I can.
And I've noticed people like when kayaking or they have like a little john boat, and I've noticed them just from bank fishing here. It seems like they just, I don't understand, or maybe they just don't understand that they come so close to where they're going to cast to. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, stay back. Like, you're literally going right on top of where you want to catch the fish.
Yeah.
And they end up going right over it, like 5, not even like 4 minutes later. And I'm like, dude, what did you just do?
What are you doing?
And then they just blew the whole spot up, and then they ruin it for everybody else too. But I just don't get that. And then I've seen, you know, kayak guys doing the same thing. They'll just like literally keep casting. But I understand sometimes you can't obviously hold down the kayak, it's going to grab. So, but they'll like continuously keep going all the way until like they almost hit the bank. And I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
So I'm like, dude, that's not like, you're not really fishing efficiently doing that. And I think sooner or later they obviously will learn that. But it's just weird that when you see that, I'm like, what the hell, do they not get that that's going to scare the fish away?
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Well, some people believe that they think that they're not going to do anything about, or the fish don't care about
them
the
kayaks
over. It's like, yes, they do.
Yeah.
They know.
They
there's 3 kinds of fishermen around here.
It's not Santa Claus. You know?
They got eyes, you know, that's how they, you know, they pretty much respond to mostly everything through eyesight.
Yep.
So,
and the bigger ones, they know what's real and what's not.
And just in nature, like size comparison, like it's like swimming in the ocean with a whale. Like if you saw a blue whale in the ocean, you'd probably, you know, soil your pants. Excuse me.
Go nuts.
Yeah, you'd be like, oh my God, but they don't even eat us. They eat plankton. But the fact that it's 100 whale, you'd be like, oh my God, I'm this big next to this thing.
Yeah.
It's like that's the same thing. Like
it's honestly like if you look at it, like, you know, even when birds are flying up in the sky, like prey birds, they know they're around and they stay away from there. So if they can see that damn bird somehow, or know that that bird's looking at them, imagine what they can see when it's right on top of the water. So you know, and that they literally use their sight to hunt. They're eating baby rats, baby ducks, or whatever. So you know, they're paying attention.
That's what I was just gonna say.
The shadow.
Little Rich.
Exactly. Yeah.
Rich, spot on.
Exactly. And there's 3 kinds of fishermen around here. There is the guy that sits in a bucket on the bank with worms and bobbers that has like 10 rods set out and covers as much water as he can. Then there's the bank beaters that will literally, they will take their boat and they will just fish along the bank the entire like as far as they just drift across like the bank and just pitch and flip towards the bank. And then there's the guys out in the middle not knowing what they're doing, or they're crappie fishing. Those are the 3 kinds of fishermen around here. But like being able to cast further, there's no one that has live scope around here. There's like, I've never seen anyone do donuts or circles or have it like looking down at their screen like this with a little drop shot. Like,
funny enough, I've seen a guy who has it.
Really?
I've seen one person who has it. Yep, I went on the boat with Big Kev, and me and him, he has some spots pinged, and we went to a couple of his spots, and then sure enough, we're coming down the middle of the lake. Some dude is just standing over, and he's just. I'm like, yo, there's no way.
Zombie.
And sure enough, we drive by, and he goes, "Oh, hey, what's going on?" And I was like, "Live scope?" And he was like, "Yeah, I just got it. I'm learning it. Blah blah blah." I'm like, "That's crazy. Even at my home lakes, he's got it." He was like, "It's pretty nuts though. You can see
Yeah.
you can see." He goes, "I'm not good at it yet. I'm learning it," but he was like, "You can see." And I was like, "Wow, that's nuts." I went to
pretty
jump
cool.
on the boat just to see it.
Yeah, it is pretty
I've
cool.
never
Like,
played it.
the stuff that you can see with that is just crazy. Like, you can learn so much about like
Yeah.
and the stuff you really just didn't see before. So
Yeah.
that's kind of the cool part about it.
I love watching Milliken's videos where he's just like, he's got the glide bait, he's got either the draw or the hankler or whatever, and you can watch him like cast, it hits the water, and then you can see it just start swimming, and you can see all the fish that just come up to it, how many like move away, like how many actually
so
like, move
dialed
away. It's
with it.
crazy.
That's why I was saying that, like, you know, in the tournament fishing that I was asking, like, I think it was on Serious Angler, like the guy that was on there, that if he thought that, you know, live scope and swim baits are going to become more of a popular thing in the tournament stuff, that it could be actually like maybe more successful than it has been previously. So I was just wondering that, because I think, you know, if the right person, you know, uses it like that, or is continuously using it like Milliken or something like that, that it could like become more like people are going to see like, oh shoot, I could be doing that too, or catching those fish. And I think that's what it could be really good for in you know, tournament stuff wise, that they could be using like swim baits and just figuring out, you know, how the fish are really wanting those baits way quicker.
And you
than
can find
before.
the aggressive fish, and you can also find the fish that are more lethargic, and they might be able to come back through with like a drop shot or a Nico rig or something like that. And then other fish, you could be like, all right, these fish are fired up. They hit my glide bait with no hooks on it, or they hit my swim bait or whatever. And those fish are fired up. I'm pretty sure they're going to stay in this general area because there's food here, there's shelter here for them to, you know, stay hidden from predators or whatever. So you can definitely use it as a good tool, but you can't just go through the entire lake in 3 days and find all the fish like that. There's so much water to cover. So you still have to narrow it down, and you still have to be able to know how to catch those fish. You know, so it's not just, you know.
Also, a big thing is, just like anything else, like everything comes in waves, and the more fish are caught a certain way, they're going to smarten up to it a little bit. You know, I'm not saying that tomorrow they're going to be like, oh, we know what that live scope thing is. We're not biting none of that anymore. But like in the same breath, if, you know, if you got, you know, 25 years ago, I imagine they were all bank beaters. You know, they were going down, pitching and flipping with a worm. Now here we are 25 years later, they're all out in the middle of the lake. Big fish aren't
circles.
Stupid. Big fish aren't stupid. So then guess what they're going to do in, let's call it 5 to 7 years. All right, guys, let's run up shallow again, where we don't hear this humming sound over our heads. And then this thing comes down and bobs, you know, and then everyone's going to rotate shallow again, because guess what? Professional anglers need to win money. So they're going to rotate shallow again. It's going to, and then it's going to go back and forth. You know, it's, I don't know. It's like a cycle. It's like
like a cycle,
flopper thing, which I missed, which is upsetting for me.
But you know, now they're actually figuring out how to use, you know, the that live scope for like shallow stuff. You know, looking underneath mats and lilies and all that stuff.
Wow, I didn't see none of that. That's interesting.
Yeah. So that is crazy to even be able to see that, you know, because you never know what the hell is in there.
That's sick. So I can know and throw the frog at him, land the frog over.
Or, you know, pitching a, you know, jig into the mat. Yeah.
Or it's pretty crazy.
Not pitching.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about that. He's just did you see the deal with Baxter the Baitman?
I'd love to talk to him. You see, he commented on Baxter the Baitman's post.
It was pretty hilarious.
Wait, what? He did?
So
Yes, he did.
Baxter Bateman straight up tagged Randy Blockett like in a post and like was kind of getting at him. And Randy answered. He answered him, and I was like, "Oh man, this is
You want me
funny.
to see if I can find it?
Yeah, it's
I'll
definitely
find it
there,
here and
but
we'll share it.
it's definitely there. But they're cool about it. He was like, "Yo, I'm just having fun." He was like, "No, I get you, buddy." So
I think I've seen that one. Yeah. I've seen that.
Yeah, that's
they're all good. It's just funny. All fun. They talking their smack.
Yeah, I saw the one with what's it called, Zaldane, that he did, the Josh Jones one.
Okay.
Let's see if I can.
I'm not a part of Bass University. I do my own thing. I just go out and fish. Try to anyway.
Yeah.
I've already watched. There's always a live stream or two going on, so I'm like, I'll just chat around here. And
yeah, there's always something going
on. John Smith here. I've got it pulled up right here. I'll just read it for you. I'll read Randy's comment here. Dang, I totally forgot about it. Here, I'll just show you guys. It's pretty funny. Here it is, right here.
Oh, you got it? There it is.
This comment right there.
Dang, I totally
read it. You might have to read it out. I don't know if people
can I totally forgot about those tournaments. You kindly pointed out everyone to see and guess I was too busy remembering the $2 million deposited in the bank from the tournament winnings over the course of my career.
Yeah.
Which is only like $20,000 a year, though.
Yeah, but I think what he's really the reason why he looks at it like that was because it was really like within a 10-year span. So
and if you think about it, bass tournaments back then, were they still making that much money?
Yeah,
it's kind of got to be. It's on the latter end, which $2 mil.
And honestly, that's pretty surprising on its own. I didn't when I found that out. I was like, damn, that's actually a pretty good amount of chunk of change.
Yeah,
I was like, and like I said, sometimes I think with the live scope thing is that a lot of people misinterpret what like Randy's trying to get at, and mainly he just is trying to warn people about like stuff that's going to happen in the future of the sport if that tech is the same, is continuously going down that road where everybody's always hyped about the new tech that's coming out. So then by the time 10, 15 years comes from now, we'll just be seeing guys looking at a screen that tells them the bass type, how much it weighs, and, what lure to cast at it, and all this stuff, that you really are going to be like, what the hell's the point of this? What am I got to do now personally to know how to catch that fish when it's already telling you, all these things? And who knows, I can see that happening in 15 years with the technology and stuff like that.
Maybe.
Have you guys heard of, it's called, I have it saved on my bar. It's called Chat GPT.
No.
Never heard of that.
So what it is, it's computer AI. You ready? Hold on, I'm going to do it right now. So if you go into it.
I've been seeing a lot of those paintings.
So on Jacob Wheeler's, I was listening to Jacob Wheeler. He does the thing where he talks to two other professional anglers.
Yeah.
Super interesting point. You go to it's called Chat GPT. You can go to it right now and go to how do you catch largemouth bass on Gunnersville? And it'll get, hold on, I'll do it right now. Oh, I almost left the screen. Oh, new tab. Woo! I saved it. I hit cancel. Hold on, I'm going to do it right now.
That's pretty crazy.
It's pretty nuts.
But you also have to put this in perspective. There it is. My mouth's not working. You also have to think about, is bass fishing even going to be a thing in 20 years?
Yeah.
Do you think?
Yeah, I think so.
Right now, there's a ton of pressure. There's a ton of.
Oh, wow. It's down right now. It's actually down right now.
And like I was saying with the whole, point of what, like, I think, the whole Randy thing, and he pretty much is like warning people about that stuff. And like I said, people complain about him a lot, but you have the right to just, kind of just not click on his videos. If you don't like his content, just don't click. And there's some videos I don't watch his stuff, and I follow him. So you just have.
And what the most interesting part about that, Matt, is he's got, I think,
almost 100K.
Yeah, he's almost at 100K subs.
Yeah.
So like, either you love to hate him,
Yeah.
Oh, you hate to love them.
Yeah, just agree to disagree, you know?
Yeah, that's it. I honestly, I comment on some of his stuff.
And even like Josh Jones, like the Dax guy that he was talking about, Josh Jones, even him as someone who's been he was, I think, one of the first like couple guys doing live scope.
He was.
And he pretty much, is really big into it, probably never stopped doing it. But he even said that he saw what Randy was trying to say and understood the point of it, and that it's probably a good thing that he's doing that and talking about it, because, no one else is. So, if someone is not doing it, someone else is going to do it. So if it ain't Randy, it's going to be somebody else, So I'd rather it be Randy, at least, because, at least he's, kind of a guy that he tells it as it is. That's how I see it. He's not sugarcoating anything. And, sometimes that's what some guys want to do because they just don't want it to fit their narrative. So they'll sugarcoat something to make it sound like it's more kind of like negative than really what it is. And I just don't like that, because he seems, overall, he's a real positive guy. He's never talking down on anybody. Yeah. He's always uplifting stuff. He does a Monday uplifting damn thing. I don't even watch it, but
he just gives his opinion on everything.
Literally everything. And so, it's just stupid that, people go and have to like go all crazy and get mad and stuff like that. But it's just conversation. Like, you can't just have a decent conversation back with them.
We all have free speech on everything.
So
I did find his video ranting about it while as he's driving. He likes to film when he's driving. He stares directly at the camera and not at the road, which is
I think
he's gonna have a problem sometime.
I don't know how people do that. I really don't think that's actually even a smart idea.
I can't.
Yeah, it's not.
I cannot text him.
I don't even know how you can do that, really, because that's like almost like messing with your phone and driving.
It is.
I couldn't do that
because you got to be thinking about it. You got to make sure the camera's right there.
They mailed him a ticket and stayed here shooting and driving.
Filming while driving.
Right? That'd be hilarious. They have proof.
It is legal to do that, actually. If you didn't know,
it's legal.
State is against
illegal.
That's what I'm gonna say. You can't use your phone while you're driving.
Yeah, that is true.
It'd be hilarious.
Unless he's got like one of like a dash cam thing or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe.
I think we all do it.
Or he just has like a suction cup with a GoPro or something.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Well, no, but you can do that, but you can't do it on your phone where you're watching yourself, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
you can use like a
a camera.
I
don't know how he'd be seeing himself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So weird. That's true.
And he says it, but either way,
that's true.
He says it straight up, says it, but
exactly. Yeah.
Brendan, did you say you had some baits, Brendan?
No, I have no baits at the moment.
I got a little something. I was lazy. I didn't want to.
The past like 3 months, I've just been buying up baits like crazy.
I was going to say,
stop for a second.
I think Brendan might be tapped out for a little.
I know. Yeah.
I got a little something.
I do. I've been. I bought new solvent-based paints for bait painting, so that's where most of it went. TK really hooked me up with that. So
at least you're spending on something that is a hobby.
Yeah, that'll make more money.
So,
yeah, definitely. So
make the baits look nicer.
Yeah, for sure. I've got some.
A little Santin.
All right,
nothing
let's see
crazy,
it.
But Tackle Junkie made me do it.
Oh.
Oh
yeah.
I want to see those up actually a little bit.
So we got the Lure Net paint shops. Let me see if I can open.
I don't know why, but I really wanted them to name that creamsicle. I do not know why. It really gives me like a creamsicle look vibe because it just looks like
there we go,
like ice cream.
They come in these pretty.
The colors did look good. Frank did an amazing job with those.
So we got Lure Net paint shop. Let me see. Hold on. I learned something. Hold on 1 second. Boom. I help it.
Oh, you can change the light.
So how does Lure Net work with like that stuff? Are they like branch with?
They do a drop.
So they do a drop. So they only made.
Oh, okay.
They only made 300 each of these.
Ah, that's pretty cool. I like that.
So that's kind of why I jumped on them. I'll be honest. Like I love exclusives.
So LureNet is just like an exclusive, like color type.
Well,
like
they do the
limited
LureNet
amount
Paint
of
Shop is what it's called. It's called LureNet Paint
Ah,
Shop. And honestly, they have other baits. I didn't even know until this run. And then Tackle Junkie put me on. Obviously, he put out a video.
yeah, I see him talking
And
about them a lot.
if you go, so Brendan, if you want to pull it up, if you want to pull up LureNet's
I'm pulling
paints,
it up right now. Actually, I'm
Hold up.
trying to find it.
they have a bunch of different baits, and you can go back and see the old baits that they put out, which
Yeah,
is
because
actually
I was wondering how they were like, getting all those baits for doing that. I was like, well, are they like branched with
What
the
is that?
companies and they're just like selling a limited supply?
Yeah. So that's the bulletproof gill. Yeah, I think they still got them too,
All right,
which is a
let's
little
see.
surprising to me. But if
Here we
you go, here's all the colors. Yeah,
Yeah, they're nice.
they're nice. They're real
They've got
nice.
some. I
I'm
love this one.
surprised
Kind
that
of like
damn
Yeah,
graffiti crawl's still there.
yeah, I
this one
know.
right here is so cool. It's
It
like
don't.
the
It literally looks like
Donald
an
Sanders.
oil.
Yeah, I have it here.
It literally looks like an oil spill.
It does. It's kind of like a Donald Sanders with his new like I don't know what he does it like the clamshell kind of deal where it's like
Honestly, a little
crazy
insane.
looking.
Yeah, that's sick.
But
Big screen me, Brandon, real quick.
oh, sorry.
Yeah, but
on
I'm
that
looking at
site.
the Jermaine. You can see
Oh,
that.
there you go. Yes.
Purple.
That
Sick.
looks good.
It's nuts.
Yeah, it almost looks like abalone or like a mix with oil
Yeah.
spill.
That's why I was like, I
It's just
saw it and I
oil.
was like, oh man. And then
Okay, John.
red.
It's like a respect series. Cool. I might have to give me
Yeah.
some of those actually.
Telling you, man, go
That
do
one
it.
is. I like that one a lot.
And then in the same breath, you can go TJ81 for what is it, 15% off, or you
I
can
think
Hank
it is.
Bass Geeks got one too, and then they got this one. I got one more.
Ooh,
This is just the
there
brown
we
craw.
go. Ooh,
Does
I
it
like
have
that.
like a glitter on the belly?
Yeah, a little glitter
Does it?
on there too.
That's nice.
And then I actually went back and got some more because I got them in. So
You
these
gotta
are
get
all,
backups, man.
yeah, these are. I got two of each color here, except for the bulletproof gill.
Man.
What did I do here? So these are all the one knockers. So I got. hold on,
Okay. Yes. The one knocker is a good
the
one.
hard knockers are the ones with rattles. So
Okay.
the hard knockers.
Yeah.
So this one here.
Yeah, that's the good sound right there.
I love this.
Yeah, that's a lot better.
Yes.
So
Very subtle.
yeah. So I'm gonna be tossing some of these around. So what I was thinking is, oh, that's a cool little announcement. I guess I'll drop your boys fishing tournaments this year. I got my tournament schedule, so I think
cool.
Is it? Oh, he froze.
Uh-oh. He froze. Uh-oh.
I was gonna ask if it was like a boat tournament or a bank tournament because I was
Or
wondering.
you can do the online stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna do more of the online stuff this year as well. I'm gonna try and do the PATS tournaments more this year because last year I did do it and I got pissed off because of the scale. I literally got disqualified. That
exactly
almost 5-pounder that would have literally damn near put me in like second place.
That would have been cool.
That was, and they had one of the baits I've been wanting for a while. It's like I think it was the snack, but it was a big one, dude. That bait, like, if you was to buy that off like Universe or something, that's like a $1,200 bait.
That's
so
crazy, man.
And I kind of think it's kind of cool is that they only allow people to win like one time, so
that is cool
they
too.
can't technically flip baits because there was guys doing that. They would win and then flip the damn bait. So because if you're only paying $15 to get in the tournament, so imagine you only get 15, you win like every other week. You're freaking gonna cash in, like, especially with those baits,
Definitely.
And Piz does tournaments too,
Yeah.
So
there we go. We're back.
I'm back. My internet just wanted to turn off for a second.
So what about the tournaments?
Oh, yes, I'm fishing tournaments this year. Kayak Club, Hudson Valley. basketball. I forget what it is.
Is it a boat tournament or a bank tournament?
No, kayak
Oh,
fishing.
snap.
So I'm
cool.
going all in. I got a whole
That's
lot.
pretty cool.
Yeah, so one of the guys, the guy who like kind of runs it, is his brother worked at the dealership with me. So I met him. That's the guy who I actually bought the kayak from. And he was like, yeah, just come hang out. So we got 1 415, 1 5'7", 1 6'4", 6'17".
Did they tell you the lakes you're fishing?
Yeah.
Which ones are you going at?
So we got Rio Reservoir, Mayapack, Bantam, Roundout Creek, Lake Zor, Candlewood, which I've heard amazing things about. Copake, I've heard amazing things about. And then the last one, I'm going to butcher it. Lil Ilnona. They're all in New York. So, yeah, they're all New York lakes.
Wow.
Very cool.
That's going to be that should be fun.
Candlewood's up in Connecticut. So, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
That should be really fun.
8.
That's cool, man.
Never fished any of those spots before. So,
all right.
From spring, so from April to September.
Nice.
Yeah.
So it's like once a month.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think there's 2 in
September.
7? 2 in June. And 6 is July. I don't know. No, 6 is June, 7 is July. Yeah, 2 in June, 2 in July. And then everything else is 1 a month. Yeah, 4. Yeah.
Hey, well, at least it's going to be in the good months that,
Yeah, exactly. So I'm excited. I'm
awesome.
nervous.
That should be fun.
I got it all. But my goal is to try to place in the money in one of them. Just one. I'm not greedy, I'm not trying to.
And if not that, man, just enjoy pretty much the time you're having, man.
Yeah, that's it.
That's really what it's all about.
Yeah. And just learn. That's the whole biggest thing. It's just.
Yeah, and if the win comes with it, so be it.
That's it. I just, more or less, I just like to see where I stand. You know what I mean? Like, everyone always tells me.
Everybody wants to test themselves. You know what I mean?
And I'm not saying I'm that guy. I still think that I'm pretty lucky, but a lot of people.
I say the same thing myself, man.
You catch a lot of good fish, yo. You catch a lot of good fish, man. And I'm like, they're just fish. And then he's like, one of my guys is like, yo, you should try a tournament. I'm like, all right, maybe I will. So now here I am. I'm like, I should try a tournament. Thanks, Adam.
Make sure to do that before the tournament thing goes. I think it's like you have a month, and then there's no public information. It depends on the tournaments, I think.
Yeah, I got to get all the rules.
I thought I was doing like decent last year, from the bank wise, and then all of a sudden the guy that I know that he makes like the Shad like knockoff himself, he was like, oh yeah, I caught like a 6-pounder, a 7-pounder, a couple 5s, and I was like, Jesus Christ, dude! I was like, I couldn't even get like a past 5 pounds, but he actually he got a boat this last year. And so that's why he was like all over. He was fishing because before he was using a kayak, but he is getting pretty like up there age wise. So I think it was probably just too rough for him. And he said that off the boat that he's been smacking them pretty good. So I was like, damn. And he just
awesome.
He was talking about fishing like it was like December, and he was like, yeah, I'm going fishing. And I'm like, dude, what the hell? One time he went fishing last year on his kayak. It was like February, and it was freezing out. And I was like, dude, you fall in that water, man,
it's over.
It's a wrap.
Done.
Don't do that.
And so I was like, you're definitely pretty bossy. There was a guy, actually, a video I'll have to put on the Instagram. It was a guy saltwater fishing, John Skinner. He posted a video up. And it was about a kayak guy that he was in the bay up near like you actually, and near the Long Island Sound, and he was by there, and he was fishing in the bay, and it was real windy out, and he was in a kayak, but not like a good kayak, like a Hobie or an Old Town or anything like that. He was in a damn Walmart kayak.
Oh no,
a Pelican. It was like a Pelican or something. No. And dude, he was in like 3-foot waves, and literally he's sideways number like that too on the wave. So his boat is going like this instead of.
I don't know if I'll ever go on the Hudson in my kayak, and my kayak's pretty legit. I don't think I'll ever do that.
So he goes and he's just he catches a fish, and I thought he was gonna flip when he caught the fish and flipped it on the kayak. And he didn't then, and then all of a sudden I was like, oh, then it has to be when he puts that damn fish right back in, and he takes the damn fish, messing around with his phone and everything, and then puts it back in, and as he's going like that, the whole kayak just flips right upside down, and I was like, oh shoot, and the water was like freezing. It was like literally, I think it was like this month or like the beginning of December that it happened, or end of December it happened, and he just like for a second you can tell he couldn't breathe, and he was like just like and then ended up catching his breath, and then he was in waders, so that's not really a good idea to do when you're on a kayak fishing in waders, because
those things will just fill up with water and just
And not just that, is that what happens is if you're wearing a waist belt, because some guys, that's what they'll do, is they'll wear waders with a waist belt so they can get deeper in the water, and if water comes in, it doesn't go in. So when you do that, it creates like a balloon in your waders. So when you fall in,
it'll flip you over.
Your legs can't touch the ground, so you're literally floating up like this, and it's very hard to like actually put your feet down because they want to float up. So the only way to actually undo that is to put water into your waders. So then you end up having to actually soak yourself even more, making yourself even more colder. And then who knows? But the guy tested it out, which was kind of cool. John Skinner, he tested it out, flipping himself in a pool with waders on, and he floated up for a minute and couldn't put his feet down, and then he opened up his clip on his waist, and the water went in, but he didn't sink. He still was able to kick. So he found that like really interesting. I did too. I was like, whoa. I was like, how is he not sinking?
To your advantage almost.
And so that's what he noticed, and he was like, huh. He's like, I thought this was a lot more dangerous than it seemed. But it was the more dangerous part was that he couldn't put his feet down, and he was saying that if somebody was worried or scared, they could end up maybe flicking their head back and taking in water or passing out, and then they're like,
well, just the shock of the cold water and then the waves and everything.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Your kayak will just float right on away really fast.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, that's actually a good point. You can't actually pedal or kick. You're pretty much floating on your back.
But we got a question here from Mike.
Yeah.
So we got Brandon and Jermaine, but who's the other guy? I'm new here. So Mike, this is South Jersey
JDM poster child.
Yeah, JDM poster child. Shout out. This is South Jersey fisherman. This is our good friend Matt. Me and Matt will more than likely be linking up at some point this season. I'm gonna get down there and check him out.
Midway or something. Have to fish.
But he's in South Jersey. I'm in North Jersey. But yeah, he's a good dude. Big on the big baits. Big on the Japanese baits. So check him out.
Links in the description.
You're not super active in like terms of like posting, but you're always on here messing with the fishing fam, as I call
it. Yeah. I always try to.
He's always here talking to somebody in the fishing fam.
So yes, LureNet owns a bunch of brands. So that's the brand name. I think it's Pradco that owns all of them, or maybe it's LureNet. I don't know. I think it's one of them.
I think LureNet is just like a branch that sells their baits, I think. But like you guys said, like special colors. Because that's what I want.
I got the worst tip for you here, Mike. Buy 3.
One to lose, one to give away, and one to fish.
See that?
You mean all 3?
1, 2. I buy 2 of them all at least. So... Or get yourself a kayak so you can kind of, I know that's an expensive one too. But then if you have a boat or kayak, you can for the most part, you can go to the other side of the snag, and most of the time you can pop it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I try to do if I'm on the bank.
Yeah, but it don't work.
Yeah.
I fall in the lake trying to save a jackhammer.
If I lose something expensive, I will go in the water.
Walk in the water down the bank, like.
Yeah, screw that,
Take this L and I'm gonna get my jackhammer back and still not get it, and now I'm just wet. Yeah,
dude.
Yeah,
I almost drowned for a damn ice slide. I'll never do that shit again.
Of what size? Is it like the 262?
No, it was like it was this damn thing. This little freaking.
Was it like the 135?
Yeah, this little freak.
What are those, like? Not even $40 bucks, I think.
It was like $50, I think,
at
the time, or like that time. And for me, I didn't really have much swim baits, and I was like, dude, if I lose this damn thing, and it was because I caught a lot of fish on it, and I was like, no, well, I was like, dude, I'd rather just had it like hung up than not, lose it. So when I lost it, I was pissed, and I went, and it was in a natural spring, so the water there, it gets cold as hell, like. Literally, for some odd reason, it doesn't freeze, but it's just super cold. Like, literally, it gets from a natural spring that's underground, and it comes up. And literally, the water there, it looks, clear, but then it's kind of murky at the bottom, like almost like a tannic. It's odd, and it's kind of creepy. But I was like, it's not that deep. I was like, oh, shoot, I can see the bottom. And really, that wasn't the bottom. It was just like a layer of something, of like silt or dirt, or I had no clue what it was. But as soon as I stepped in, I went like under like here, and I was like, oh shit. And it was like 40 degrees, the water, 40 degrees. And I thought, I was going to just be able to walk and grab it real quick and get out. I didn't do that. As soon as I walked in, my feet fell down, like gave out, and I was like, no, there was nothing to grab on the bottom, so I just instantly like sunk for a second, and I was like, oh shoot, and I couldn't even breathe right either, so I was like, nope, I'm out. So I had to come back on like a little floating boat I had. It was like a little floaty boat, and
like a pool boat or something.
Yeah, like something like that, dude. And I came out there with like a magnet. And I was just taking the magnets and bringing it around. Couldn't find it. And I was like, dude, where the hell does this damn thing go? And then literally it was floating right on the edge of like close to the bank. And I was like, are you serious right now? This whole time I was freaking out and thinking it was like I lost it. And it was literally, it floated over within like the next day because it had rained. And I guess it just like unhatched and floated up because this is the floating one. Thank God.
Okay, that's good then.
So it floated up, and then it just like floated to the side, and I was like, "Oh my god!" So it was crazy, though.
Hella bass is getting at me.
Yeah,
and look, Rich, if you just got here, I got something here other than some 6 cents.
I know, it's surprising, isn't it?
So what's very interesting too. So I was thinking about it today, and I got my 6 cent sack, and I was gonna do my next unboxing, but like the 6 cent sack is like it's time sensitive, so you kind of got to do it like the first 3 days you get the sack, otherwise like Jason to it, Justin Royal,
you don't get the views.
You start to get
like,
all right, so like I gotta put it out. Yeah, I'm gonna put it out tomorrow, but like everybody beat me to it already.
I had Matt, I had a similar experience with my first ever swim bait ever, an S-Waver 168. I mean, the same thing that Tim and Matt recommend to everybody. And the second trip I ever went out on this, I caught a 3-pounder on it, which was very surprising. I was like just stunned. And then there's a rope that goes across the lake, or like a portion of the lake.
I know you're talking about.
It has 2 T-posts on it, and then I cast my
hard.
lure over it. And I was like, all right, I'll just slide the lure over it. So I reel it up kind of slow, and I pop it, and the thing gets hooked there. And I'm like, it's like 10 feet away from the bank. And I'm like, oh my goodness. So I ended up trying to pull it off, and my line snapped because I was using like 10-pound test or something like that, something stupid.
Yeah, those things are hard to bait out.
And it was sitting there just like that on the rope. I waited. This thing has been there sitting 2 years, and I finally got it. This is
Ah,
the
when it
exact same
drained.
one. Yes.
That was the
That's
one.
that's that's the same lake that I lost the K9 at, which is no longer on the stump. So I do not have the K9 anymore, sadly.
Sadly.
So, but that was the first ever one I ever bought. It's pale on that one side. It's a normal color on the other.
Probably because the other side got all like sun bleached.
I know, I like that color a lot. That kind of bleached color, but
yeah, there was a guy who had a tiny Clash. It got like stuck, and it was like a year or 2 years. He like just never got it, and then all of a sudden he saw it like one day when he was going by, and he was able to get it out. But the bait had like a natural paint job to it, and it looked like a damn smallmouth. It was the craziest thing ever, and he was using. And as soon as he found it, he put the hooks on it and some new hooks, and then cast it, and he caught a fish like a couple casts later, and then he ended up using it again like a couple days later, and the slime, it was like this slime that got on it. It started wearing off, and it started creating like this cool pattern on it, and it was pretty cool. I was like, damn, that's nuts.
It's pretty cool.
Sick.
Just throw some lacquer thinner on bait. I think it should do it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
So let's try to get through these comments here. I just want to make sure we hit on some of them. We're way behind on them. But Tyler here with hook sets are free. Guys, go check them out on YouTube and Insta chat. What are 3 to 5 baits you're most excited to use this year? Matt or Jermaine? You guys go ahead first.
Jermaine, you can go.
Click and Fritz side. Berkeley jigs with that scented skirt. I would like to see. I actually got a bunch of those. That's supposed to be an unboxing that I'm slow on. I'm off tomorrow, so I'll work on that for y'all. And a third, I don't know. What else I got over there? Oh, and then something I'm gonna use. I keep saying this. I'm gonna do spinning tackle, small jig head, 1/8, 1/4 ounce, paddle tail, catch fish. That's what I want to do. I just want to catch fish.
Okay. So, nice.
Cool.
It's so hard to choose.
Pretty much use this guy here, this little bait here. It's I
like that one. That looks
cool. It's like a crank down, but it's also like dead walk bait. So you can pretty much walk it in place like a K9 as well. But I wanted to do that. Yeah, or a tiny Clash. This guy as well, which is like a sort of like a wake bait, but it's also kind of has like a couple of different.
Is that the Adusta?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but it also cranks down, but it's like a head and big bug. I say like pretty much the same concept.
Yeah.
But just in a different profile. Cool. But it's got that loud.
Oh yeah, I like that.
So that, and also I wanted to use the these Amakatsu tiny jigs, or also the raid one. I have a raid one as well, but they're a tiny jig. I wanted to use that with the hide up bait that I got. They're those little tiny wide staggers, the ones that kind of like do the spiral as they fall.
Oh
so,
yeah.
That and
it's pretty hard to choose, isn't it?
This guy here, I'm really looking forward to the little crawler I got.
Ooh, it's pretty cool looking.
Yeah.
What bait is that?
This is also a Adusta as well.
Okay.
Yeah, it's called the Junior Z.
Oh, it like really like it's like a crazy fast like tight motion, isn't it?
What it is that it kind of goes under, like not under the water, but it's like a lot lower than most crawlers would. It kind of stays like almost subsurface in a way, and you can kind of go quick with it, but it makes a very like unique like sound that's not as loud as the other crawlers I got. So
okay,
that's why I got it. And it also has like a popping mouth to it. But really,
Yeah,
this
like
bait is actually it's kind of odd. This bait right here, you can actually take these wings off, and you can buy. So if you wanted, you can buy the little piece that you can attach. There's like a lip piece. It's like a crawling lip, like a sort of like a jitterbug, and you can just attach it to the bait because there's holes right here on the side. And if you look at the other bait, there's another one on the hookup site. There's two different types. It's called like the Z Crawl or Zach Crawl Junior, and then a Zach Crawl something else, and it has like a metal lip on it. And that one, it's the same bait, but just this has the crawler arms on it, and then it's also a little bit heavier, so you can pitch it kind of into cover and things like that a lot more accurate. So.
Very compact bait. I like that a lot.
Yeah, that's why I got it too. It's pretty small, but it has a nice, and the wings are pretty heavy duty, and the hardware on it, the wing hardware, is pretty pretty heavy duty. Like it doesn't even bend at all. Like my bigger one bends more, so it's odd. So it's definitely built pretty well. And then last one would be this guy. The IC gill flat swimmer.
Ooh,
I think this guy is gonna get bit. I dyed the tail on it just to give it a little, because I've seen bluegills with that in my area where they have like this kind of like bluish or sort of like chartreuse outline on their tail. It's pretty, but it's a pretty big bait. So it definitely get a big bite. Definitely. And I think that would be pretty good in like the pre-spawn time when they're feeding on like the gills and stuff like that, because the shad really isn't that many around. So
I like that bait a lot. That looks super good for sure. Yeah, it's a pretty. I like those like bluegill baits that are segmented like that are soft. Like those are something like it always just appeals to me. Like as far as like eye appeal goes,
they look
like
real
I just
natural.
like the look. Yeah, exactly. Especially in the water. But the baits that I really want to try to focus on this year are some of the DRT baits like the Joker, the K9, and the Tiny Clash. I put a ton of time in with the K9, but not much time in yet with the Tiny Clash. I just got this one.
Yeah, you'll like that.
Yeah, I like the action, but you can't overpower it. Like if you really get like a stiff rod, you will really like overpower it a lot. But the DRT baits definitely I want to put more time in. Also want to put more time in with the flag.
Yeah, that's a cool bait, man. I gotta get me one of those.
Yeah, I love this thing. The action that it has, it's gonna be perfect for around here. So, and then definitely gonna want to put in some more time with this baby right here. So
the
this is the Adam sent me a couple of these baits. These things are insane.
Yeah,
these are
I like a few of his baits.
Yeah, they have a good action too, but the detailing, like he just molds a real fish, so it's always like really natural looking. But
that's cool.
Adam's a great dude.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, he molds them and then like does some like fancy work to them to accentuate the details and all that. He does a great job with them. But those are 3 baits. I also want to put in more time with the Citizens and the Battle Shad, specifically more or less the Battle Shad.
Nice.
So.
That's another one I gotta use.
He's looking for your name.
Mike, you gotta search it all one word. You don't put any spaces, and put 028 at the end.
There it is, 028.
Yeah. I left his channel link in the description, so you guys can go just get down there and you can click it right there.
That too, yeah.
Hey, Mike, also thanks for being a supporter too, brother. Appreciate you. There he goes. He found it.
Yeah, the working class 0 drop. But that's the goat, though.
I know. I'm not. They raised the price $50. If it was already $300, there's no way I'm paying $300 for that bait.
Yeah, it used that like 4 years or like 4 years ago or so, they were like $225, and then they went up to like $250, and then now they're at the $300. So.
Yeah, it's crazy. it's pretty horrible. So Hellbass says the crawler baits don't make sense to me for hookups if bass are headshotting the bait. Well, they're still going to hit the hooks because they're hitting the belly and the hooks are down there.
Yeah, I never really got.
He might mean head shaking.
I never really got. No, I think he means from the head shot. Like if they're eating like a soft bait from the head. I've never
Okay,
really
yeah.
had that happen with most of my hard baits, in my opinion, with crank downs or anything like that. They usually come from like underneath, or like
Yeah.
they'll pretty much T-bone it, so they just come from right in the middle usually. But I've never had one where they came from like this, or like as this is moving. I've never had one go like that. So they're
Okay.
mainly coming from behind and like eating it like this. And then what mainly they'll do, if they say they're not gonna like fully eat it, they'll just open their mouth and reposition it and then get it sideways. But that's just from what I've had, using the crawler baits. I've never had him hit it the headwise.
Hellabass wants you to change your name. If we can get TK, Hellabass, and Tyler to convince you to change your name, or at least tell you to change your name, that way it's more searchable.
For some reason, I
both
don't know
telling
why.
you.
Like when I search it, I don't have problems getting it. But I think it's just because people don't really search it like other channels. Usually they'll just
true.
like kind of like
Well,
put spaces in between it. So it's same thing. I have issue with Jermaine's channel. I can't find his channel.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's because I just, whenever I'm putting it in, I have to make sure I put it just all
the spaces and everything.
Fishing.
Okay.
So, and you would think, even though he has like spaces in between the name, you would think if you type it like that, it would work that way, but it doesn't. It's weird.
Yeah, it's a pain in the butt.
That's why we do these collabs. That way everybody's linked in the description, so you guys go follow them, everyone.
I think somebody said one of the links wasn't working.
Oh. Well, there goes my job.
But we'll get it fixed.
Yeah. Yeah, I always thought of making, like, changing your name to, I don't know, the Big Bait Dude or something like that. I don't know.
It's just there's like so many damn names that I've tried thinking of that if you really look them up, they're like already exist.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of, and the reason why I did it,
out there.
and the reason why I did that too was because my Instagram is the same as my YouTube, so it makes it easier to search if you wanted to do it that way, versus having 3 different names. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I changed mine to Brown Bait Company.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I would have to change it, I guess, that way. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. What's up, Kyle? Almost all my baits of crawlers have been crawling the bait. There's not usually much hesitation with how they eat it, so somehow the hookup ratio is solid no matter what, I'm assuming. So, okay. I've never really messed with crawlers that much. I'm going to make a few and mess around with them. So, yeah.
And I actually have, I think I do have like a few other, I wrote them down somewhere. I have like a bunch of names that I did. So I could probably do like maybe a poll on my community tab and see, if people think that one's better than the other.
Yeah.
And then also, since I forgot that when we were on the iSlide part, I did have a bait that I was tinkered with. Yeah, JDM. And so I had this iSlide here, right? I got the, let me get another one so you can see the difference. I was messing with it, kind of, I cut the joint on it, so that the, pretty much that mod that like Oliver and I was showing, or like Austin from Dream Catchers. But I took the Dremel to it and just cut that
let me
that
put you up here
right there. I'll show you the other one. Hold on one sec. Stuck on my damn table.
I was doing that with the GFB just today. With my GFB glide, I was cutting the joint today.
Yeah, and like I was just saying, might as well just try to have like a couple of these. So, and but right there, as you can see, the that joint is not like, has that round look to it. The other one is flat. But if you also look at the angle as well, I'll show you that.
Oh, yeah, big difference there.
So yeah, way big difference. There we go.
Yeah. So that should give it a tighter action. Hopefully, maybe.
Yeah, it should, get that, side to side a lot more. And then also like probably on the straight retrieve, it's going to have a more like wider swim.
It's probably going to have more of like a head, like where the head, usually whenever you have a wider joint like that, the head really moves back and forth hard when you swim it.
And versus
but
having
then it gets
just
very
like a
dependent on the bait.
natural tight swim.
Yeah. I think that's definitely a cool mod to do if you have like a couple extra baits to mess around with.
Yeah.
Like it's much easier with resin because you can always put back the material on there, which is why I like doing it with resin first. So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
but it should be interesting, and I think it's gonna work pretty decent with that. The way I had it, and I made sure it was pretty even. Like I took a masking tape and put it around so that it was even.
Smart. Yeah, I just eyeballed it.
I'm real like meticulous with that. I even used a damn caliper to measure it to see how much I took off on each side.
So. This bait's joint wasn't even to begin with, so I tweaked the screws. So whenever I just cut the pieces off of the side, I just made it even on both sides. I've gotten good enough to where I can hold it up and flick it and
get
it even and everything. Yeah.
But and also might as well just show the damn rest of the baits I damn tinkered with. But I have this braid bait. I took the blade off of it and put the rat tail on it. It's the jitterbug, the raid. I think it's called Buzz.
There's a lot of knockoffs of those.
Yeah, and they had like the blanks on the alternative lures. And but yeah, I took that. There's a blade that comes with it instead on that tail. Usually it's this brass blade, and it makes a lot of racket with it clicking back and forth. So with the tail, you'll just get that swimming action of the tail. And just that rattle of the body instead of because it's even still loud with like that.
Yeah.
So
that's with like the hooks on there too. The hooks make a ton of noise, like whenever it is
clacky on that metal bill too.
Yeah, definitely.
So, sure. That's just the blade. I mean the hook hitting that damn lip.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, that's
a
not
pretty
even
interesting bait. I've never gotten one of those. I've never really seen the action of them. How are those? Are those similar to a jitterbug?
Yeah, this is pretty much as a Magnum jitterbug.
Okay, gotcha.
So
the jitterbug.
You can pretty much walk this. It walks very, very nice.
I bet it would because it's like a very long bait that should walk pretty nicely.
And that front lip grabs the water real nice. And then also with these holes in here, on top, it creates a lot of bubbles as well. So as it's moving, it goes through, it creates disturbance and creates those little bubbles. But like I said, it's a pretty nice bait, and you can use it just like a regular jitterbug. You can burn it, you can go slow, you can walk it. So, and the hooks that it comes with are really, really good. Same hooks that come with the Raid Dodge. So yeah, and their paint jobs are really nice too. So
I might have to grab that one.
And it's a pretty big bait. They're like it's like
it'll make some noise and it'll do some stuff.
If I just show you like how the rattle is.
Oh wow. That's it's waking Maine up there.
Yeah.
That's loud.
So Maine did.
The body's 4.5 inches long, so
it's a pretty good size of it.
Yeah, and then you got that tail, which is hanging in the back. Obviously,
I've never been a fan of tails. That's why, on our bait, I'm not going to say it on the live stream, but that's why we had that idea for the tail, the marabou, with the tail. Yeah, that's why I thought that would be a pretty good idea for that.
Yeah, that is a good idea. I definitely think that could be, a better option instead of the plastics, because that's really, because
you can't rip it off.
It's like sometimes you'll get lucky and they'll just not hit that part and you'll be fine. But then other times if they just grab that part, you're done. So and I think also just look a lot more, natural overall.
Yeah, it'll flow better with the bait, and it won't add drag.
The only thing with these rat baits, man, the only thing that was kind of annoying me was just that there was just there's so many rats right now in the market that
Yeah,
it's really hard to make something that's very unique, or that people
it
won't
is.
say, oh, you're copying, oh, you're knocking off somebody's bait. And, so it's kind of hard to do that right now. And
Yeah.
so that was the only one problem. But, I think that, sometimes you can create like different ideas off of other people's baits and sort of like
Hmm.
mix that together in a way,
Yeah, and
but
create a better
create your
bait.
own sort of deal.
Yeah.
So like,
I
like
think.
that, sort of like the sack pig where he had his tails with that rattle, kind of contraption or ball. I was thinking, you could have that same concept, but instead of it being a plastic, rattle, you just had like a wood ball on the back of the rat, and it would just knock back
Exactly.
and forth.
Ooh, I
So
like that.
and create a noise. So you could do it like that, or other stuff. You know what I mean? And just take those type of ideas and just switch it around to a different
Yeah,
concept and make something different. So,
man.
but
I think with the soft like lip that's also like bendable, I think that'll be like a huge
yeah,
deal. Like to be able to crank
that's a
it,
cool idea.
like to crank it down to 8 feet and then bend it and then be able to wake it. Like
Yeah,
that's like a pretty big deal. And then have
yeah, it's
that
like
marabou
having
tail.
a replaceable lip or interchangeable lip,
Exactly.
but without
Yeah.
having to take it off or
It's
lose it.
I know. And then having the swiveling hook hangers on a wood bait that's not done very often.
Yeah.
So I think that should
That
be a pretty
actually
interesting
might be
idea.
something, now you're saying that, that might actually be something to be messed with the soft bait, the
What's
soft
that?
swim bait, that lip, the one that bends.
Oh yeah.
Imagine that on like a soft bait, like the
Very
flag
interesting. Yeah.
or
Well, they did
your,
make they did make like circuit board lip like harnesses
yeah.
that clamp over the face of
And
it.
that's why I was thinking that. I was like, wait a minute, maybe that
Pretty
might be a good
interesting.
idea where you could have it like molded into the soft plastic
Oh, you know what
and
you could do?
just be able to, or like have a harness that holds that lip and then you just have it inside the plastic.
Yeah, you could do something like with a soft jerk bait or something. You can do with like a lip deal to where it has like
Yeah,
a lip, so
like a
it'll swing.
scrounger.
There you
Yeah,
go, kind of like that.
and
Yeah,
you can adjust the scrounger.
yeah, that'd be pretty neat.
Yeah,
So I don't want to keep
that actually might work pretty well.
find some stuff out right now.
And then this is another thing I've actually messed with a little bit too, is a little rat bait. I actually put the tail that you just saw on this raid bait was actually on this woodrow rat, but then I switched the woodrow rat tail out for an elude tail because it just has a
Okay.
lot more. It's actually a rat tail. It's not just a cream worm, and so it has a little bit more like sort of like softness to it, so it kind of has that whip to it. It doesn't just like kind of just
Yeah.
like flop all over. So it has like just that point to it, so that it has like a nice whip to it, and I think that actually makes a kind of a big difference. And when you want that tail to like kind of whip back and forth, it has like
Yeah.
some stiffness to it. Like this tail here, it's like completely soft, like it's just soft. If you held this tail, it has like rigidity. See, it doesn't want to like completely go down. So when it'll have a little bit harder of a flick to it. But then I also took and I've seen this pretty popular in Japan where they with Roman baits and a few others like Slammers. Slammer did this a few times with his baits, but he'll put eyes on the side of the bait to where it's not on the front where the head is, it's like on the back. So they also do that with like the Roman baits where the Roman mother or the chaser, they'll put the eye on the second half joint or the back joint so that it looks like almost like two eyes or looking. It's kind of goofy looking, but the concept behind it is just to make it look like two separate fish so that it makes the bass maybe think that that's not just one fish, it's like a school of fish or a group. So I just kind of did the same thing with this rat. I put eyes on the bottom because, the bass can't see the damn eyes on the top.
Yeah.
So, give them
Just for
some
the
eyes
person.
on the bottom. It kind of gives them a target or something to see. And they'll kind of see that and just, as it's going through, And I always said if he actually put these eyes on the bottom, it would actually probably be really good because they have the red doll eyes. and when light hits them, they kind of reflect this like real cool light, and it's like they kind of shine sort of like a glitter, and it's kind of hard to capture, but they shine, and
they're kind of like a little jewel eye or something.
Yeah, they're like a jewel in a way, and that same thing, if you just had them on the bottom, it would probably look, twice as nice for the fish, not for us. But that's why I always said I would like to have like a rat with the eye on the bottom.
Yeah,
like
that's some chocolate swim baits does that.
Yeah, he has those old school eyes like that are on the balsa. But what I was saying is do like there's like a couple striper fishermen that do it, but they have these giant eyes on their baits. But I was thinking of just having like one giant big one and call like the Cyclops rat or something.
Yeah.
But it would be cool. I think that would look nice, and it's different, So sometimes that's all it takes is just weird little things like that on baits, and sometimes it helps. But
definitely, those little subtle differences can make a big difference. And Kyle here says, "There goes TK eyeball bait."
Yeah,
he's just gonna dot eyes everywhere. Yeah,
I don't know what with the bait he's talking about, but that damn thing looked like something that came out of hell. Like
they look weird.
I forget what kind of movie. I forget the damn name, but it's reminds me of something from it. Oh, no. Damn it, Constantine. That's what it reminded me of.
Yes,
okay. So I think we want to shut it down for tonight and maybe come up and do another live stream soon.
Yeah, I had this also the Pats that I didn't remember I was gonna get into that last thing that I remember you was talking about, but this bait here, I actually been messing with it too, because the bait was repainted. It's not an original Pat's paint job. So the person that painted it, they used like epoxy to clear it, and they put like a pretty thick damn clear. And that most of the guys that use these baits, these Pats, if you get it done painted, they'll usually like say get it sent back to the Pats to get it done, or they say like get it done by somebody who uses like airbrush or like what TK does. And
or use spray urethane.
Yeah, and because it usually affects the action of the bait. And so I was thinking about that, and I was like, you know what? Let me look at the bait. And I was looking at it, like looking at the joints and stuff, and I could see that there was like ridges or high spots where there was epoxy, like a good amount. And so I was like, you know what? Let me go and take it. And I took a file and I started just filing it down. So all like the joints in here and stuff like that, you can kind of like see where.
Oh yeah, you can.
And so I kind of went and flattened it down. So now it's real nice and flush. And on this back part, I did the same thing as well. That one has a little bit more. You can see that one I had to take a lot more off that one. And then this side, I had to take a good amount off. It kind of nicked the paint a little bit, but I don't care about that. And but yeah, and the whole like deal with that now, it feels a lot nicer where it's like a little bit more movement. It's weird, and it has a lot more overall like side to side play. So it definitely was messing with it. And then also there was like on this part right here, there was like globs in here as well that I sanded down, and that also I think, like I said, helped a lot. And now it just feels a lot like smoother wise. So I think that's definitely gonna be interesting. But also on the fact that, like you were saying, what you didn't really know the difference why guys, make the big deal out of this bait of slammer or a bait that's similar to it. But the whole point, reason why that is also because Pat's guy, he does not sell to the public and never really did. I really don't think so. Or I think if he did, it was to guys that were really close and knew each other within that group. But they don't sell those baits off of actually any store or any type of thing. There is one guy who did, but he kind of got in trouble for it. But like I said, the baits, like I said, never been sold at all. So the only way to actually obtain them is through those Pats tournaments. So that's the only way to actually win one is by winning the tournament. So technically, that's why it's a little bit hard to get them, and that's why they're worth a lot. But also the reason why guys go like nuts over these specific ones is because like before the OGs, they used to be made out of wood, and those are the ones that go for an insane amount of money. But
yeah, I've seen some rashed up ones before.
Yeah, I've seen some that look like they're about to fall apart.
I know.
And literally, these here, this one I got specifically is made out of a composite foam, like the Sutter Earl cranks. So really, this bait actually has technically the buoyancy more closer to balsa. So it's not like a regular wood. So it has more flotation than actually normal wood would actually. So it's a pretty heavy float bait to it. So, but it cranks down to about like 4 or 5 feet with this lip on it, this model specifically. But at that point too, and then also when you get rash on this bait, you don't have to worry about sealing the bait. The wood doesn't, since it's not wood, the composite, it does not matter. It's also waterproof in a way. The foam, it resistant to water, so it won't end up like wearing as much.
Just like resin is.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same as like resin, and that pretty much lasts a lot longer. But you just get more flotation than you would with like the resin or just like a different material. So it's just, that's pretty much another thing about it that makes it kind of like different, is that it's not just regular resin. It's a foam. So that part is pretty cool on that part, really. So, but really, you know, there's like a good amount of baits that he makes. Like he makes tons of different like variations. Like these are just the one types that most people are pretty common or like they know about mainly.
I see those all over.
Yeah, and the ones that are really like kind of hard to get are like the snacks, the crawlers, the glide bait. He makes like a glide bait.
I didn't even know he makes a glide bait.
Yeah, he also makes a big crank down that's like a herring type profile, like this one right here. That's why I got this bait, because I thought it would pretty much look like exactly like it, but I got it for nothing even close to what I would pay for that damn thing. So yeah, this guy here, this damn weight stuff, but this guy here is the same sort of like, you know, what's it called? Not
the crank down, the same composite like foam,
same style as like Pat's or that type of bait, and but it literally looks like similar to the exact same thing. It's just more flatter than this one here. So, but this bait here, man, is one of my favorite crank downs I got. It's actually, I'm really actually scared to like use it because I don't want to lose it. But dude, this tail right here, dude, when you just go slow, man, it literally looks like a perch. It's just like on top of the water.
Bit of movement.
Yeah, and it just kicks, and it sticks out of the water like that much. So it just looks sick, man. But when you crank it down too, it looks amazing. And
I bet
this one is a resin though; it's not foam. So, but this guy, he doesn't really make baits like that. His name's Merrill Harper, and he doesn't really make baits like much at all. I don't even think he's making baits right now, actually, anymore. At the moment,
I wish you'd send me all those molds and I'd make them for him.
Yeah, there's a guy, another one that's pretty similar to this guy as well. There kind of is a couple of them, and his name is Scott's. Those are sick too. Scott's baits, dude. Those, if you can ever like find them on Universe or whatever, definitely scoop one, because they're really well made. They're like a Beebs. Really, that's what Beebs actually copied, and kind of got in trouble for that. But you know, like I said, there's plenty of guys that are out there that are popular right now that have copied other guys that are out there that don't make it, you know. So
totally,
it's just part of it. You know what I mean? It's just, you know, some guys, they believe it's like a flattery type thing, and some guys believe that, you know, that they're just trying to copy. But you know, as long as it's not identical in, you know, the way that it looks and
or the action,
their own little twist.
Yeah. Because, you know, action is kind of hard. You know, the bait's going to kind of, if it's in the same profile or it's the same type of bill, it's usually going to have similar action.
Yeah.
But as long as I think the whole like look of it, and you're not like the same fins or the same gill structure, or it has the same fin positions, things like that, that's how I think really makes like a bait, like the key features, like the eye, the gills, you know, stuff like that. I think
for
that
scales or paint schemes or all that.
yeah, and that's where I think that's when you get to like copying people real bad. But it's like you had your gill bait. You didn't even know about the damn.
It's happening.
You don't
It's
even
getting
know
late.
about the hill country guy. And your bait looked very
Oh, yeah.
similar to it, and
Yeah.
you never seen that bait, so it's
I
just like
didn't even know they existed, to be
it's
honest.
just that people make similar stuff. It's like if you have that idea of like creating stuff or creativity, usually people have similar thoughts. It's like the saying goes, like if you thought of something before, probably somebody thought about it 10 years ago.
Yep.
So it's just about that stuff that you're around that stuff. So there's guys that are just going to be making stuff that is ahead of people. Some people are behind, and that's just all it is. And like you with your, that bait you're working with, the soft bait, that's a little bit of ahead, that's
Got
not,
some ideas.
you're not still making glide baits, or like you're still interested in, making something that is already out there.
I want to make something different. That's what I want to try to do.
And I think that's where, you make the big difference is by making those things. And sometimes those are hit and miss as well. Sometimes they don't work as good as you planned it, thought they would, but sometimes it does. And then you might have actually a bait that becomes successful or whatever. And then, now you're making that down the line, and that's like what just started your business. And then you start making all these other baits, and that's just how it is,
Exactly.
That's it.
So I think
it's getting late.
Yeah, that's it.
11:30. I'm fading.
So, yes,
time
Arthur.
flies, man.
That it does.
And
I didn't even realize it was that late.
Yeah, right, Kyle. I'm getting made fun of because I look tired. Sorry, y'all. I've been up since
next
early.
time we will not go this late. Sorry, guys. I could honestly talk big baits all night, but
nothing more I love than the fishing fan.
Has to go
fishing, but I'm about to fall asleep. So
yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, till next time.
Take it easy, guys.
See you guys.
Y'all all coming checking out. Make sure you sub to Matt, South Jersey Fisherman. What are the numbers?
028.
028. South Jersey Fisherman, all one word, 028. So
thank you.
Links in the description for everybody. So
yes.
Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you for coming on.
Till next time.
All right. See you guys.
See ya.